Immanuel Kant was a German philosopher, and one of the central Enlightenment thinkers, born in Königsberg, the historic Prussian city that is now called Kaliningrad. Kant's comprehensive and systematic works in epistemology, metaphysics, ethics, and aesthetics have made him one of the most influential figures in modern Western philosophy. His philosophy is called transcendental idealism, stating that the things we see in the world are only appearances. The true nature of things are hidden, but we can come closer to their true essence through our capacity of reasoning. Kant believed that reason is the true source of morality. He was also an advocate of the idea of global peace, and believed that it can be achieved by universal democracy and international cooperation. He perceived time in an extraordinary way, with respect to how he organized his life. He was born in the 18th century, and was raised in a religious family. His education was very strict and disciplinary. As a result, his life was characterized by exceptional discipline. Kant was a man of stable routine, following the same schedule every day, which led to extraordinary results. He wrote important books and essays such as Critique of Pure Reason, Metaphysics of Morals, Critique of Judgment, Critique of Practical Reason, Answering the Question, What is Enlightenment? And Perpetual Peace, a philosophical sketch, all of them still relevant today. And in spite of his strict schedule, he had a rich social life. It seemed that his method of managing time had great results. He was very productive to the end of his long life, and with that in mind we bring you 7 lessons on time management that we can learn from the philosophy of Immanuel Kant. Number 1. Organize yourself. Kant says, science is organized knowledge, wisdom is organized life. Immanuel Kant was an early bird. He got up every day at 5 a.m. and had a domestic helper in charge of making sure he wakes on time. After waking up, Kant would start the day drinking 1 or 2 cups of weak tea, smoking a pipe full of tobacco, and then meditating. Later he would head to his lectures, which began at 7 o'clock and ended at 11. With the lectures finished, he worked again on his writings until lunch. After lunch, he would take a walk and spend his afternoons with his good friend, Green. By evening, once he reaches home, he would spend some time working and reading before going to sleep around 11 p.m. Kant claimed that a life without a daily routine or structure will drain you mentally, physically, and emotionally. And therefore, you need to organize your life in the best possible way. The best way to start organizing your life is to think about your long-term goals and set routines that will support and help you achieve those goals. Thus, it's very important to organize your life according to your long-term goals, because in this way you can prioritize and allocate more time to the activities that really matter. Good time management helps you to concentrate your efforts and time on the important things and help achieve your long-term goals. Kant's goals were to write books that can transform humanity, and that's why he spent his days writing, reading and teaching, as well as getting inputs from like-minded people of great intellect. If you don't set up routines, you will end up racing through life chasing deadline and working for other people's goals. Routines can really help you achieve your goals, and for that, you may need a significant amount of patience. The greatest awards are given to people who are persistent in their journey and don't give up. For example, if you set a goal for yourself to be a violinist, you should choose a job like a violin teacher that allows you to spend time developing your musical skills, giving the opportunity to practice daily, giving exposure to work with masters in the field, and networking with fellow musicians, attending concerts and industry events. All of these may help you get better gigs as a musician, or at the very least help improve your skills. In general, spending time practicing your craft and networking will help you achieve the required skills for your dream job. As the old saying goes, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Number 2, follow through. Kant tells us that man must be disciplined, for he is by nature raw and wild. Beyond organizing his life into a set of routines, Kant also followed through his established rules. He was raised in a strict and very religious family, with fixed rules for everything. This helped him develop his discipline from childhood. He learnt what it meant to have discipline, and to do what you intend to do till completion. His actions in life followed a severe schedule. It was said that his neighbors would set their clocks based on his daily walks. He was a man of iron discipline. After recognizing your most important goals and priorities, you need to show up every day and follow through with your plans. Half of success in life is showing up, because once you start, the momentum picks up and ensures you put your efforts in the right direction to attaining your goals. Reaching Kant's level of discipline could be difficult, but we can try to incorporate a bit of Kantian discipline into our own lives. If you're working remotely, you may find it difficult to be disciplined. For most, it's hard to follow a daily schedule, unless there's someone there to chase your work. In this case, you need to fight your urge to procrastinate, and learn how to motivate yourself to make progress in your work. To put it more simply, you need to parent yourself. Imagine that you're riding a horse. Its actions are raw and wild, sometimes lazy and rebellious unless you have tamed it, through a gentle and tough approach at the same time. To be in control means you must motivate your horse to carry you to your desired goal. The best motivation technique is to reward your horse every time it does what you requested. Similarly, you need to be patient, gentle, and at times tough on yourself to follow through your routines. When it comes to scheduling your workload, to maximize motivation and minimize procrastination, it's recommended to divide your day into different tasks. From the most difficult and important task at hand, to the least important and most trivial one. Completing the important and difficult task, a task that you will most likely procrastinate on, will help you go about your day knowing you've done it, and the rest of your day will feel a lot easier. Furthermore, as we learnt from the example, you should reward yourself after finishing each task. It can be as simple as reading a chapter of your favorite book, watching an episode of your favorite TV series, eating a cookie, going for a walk, and so on. However, ensure this reward is limited and doesn't overconsume your precious time. In time, you'll notice that it gets easier and easier to follow the routines regardless of the difficulty, and you'll start to feel more energetic and eager to continue working. Number 3, follow universal principles in your daily activities. To quote Kant, so act that your principle of action might safely be made a law for the whole world. Kant believed that we as rational beings have the power of will to choose our actions according to our life principles, and our principles can be deduced through reasoning. Instead of following our instincts and emotions like animals do, we should use our ability as human beings to reason, to decide on what is good and what is not. To find our life principles, and then based on these principles, we can exercise our will to do the right action. To achieve this, we need to formulate our imperatives, the commands of reason which we should follow in our daily life. Kant also advises that we should act such that our principles of action can be a law for the whole world. In other words, the more universal our principles that guide our lives, the more rational decisions we will make, and the better our lives will be. Regarding time management, if we want to apply this Kantian advice, we need to manage our time in such a way that our style of time management can be used as a law for the entire world. For example, through reasoning we can reach the conclusion that doing daily exercise and eating a lot of fruit and vegetables is very good for our health. Similarly, through reasoning, we can fight our impulses that make us procrastinate, that make us binge watch videos instead of completing a task at hand. In the modern world, we spend a lot of unproductive time at work. Some studies showed that an average employee is productive for only 2 hours and 53 minutes per day. The rest of the time, they're preparing, discussing, or feeling anxious about their work, not actually doing anything. Additionally, a large amount of time is wasted in meetings, chatting with colleagues, and on social media. So the next time you have an urge to spend your time doing unfruitful things, use your reasoning skills and ask yourself if it's necessary. What is the cumulative effect of my action? What if everyone followed this rule? For example, if you're planning to scroll through social media, instead of working on a report, then you must follow the rule that everybody should be entitled to do the same. Then you need to reflect, if that would lead to a better society? If the entire company that you work for, or own, can just choose not to work, it will eventually go bankrupt. Realizing that this is not what you want, you need to change your attitude and put more effort into your work, instead of focusing on distractions that will only give you short-term gratification. It's important to follow a set of universal laws in everything you do, like doing your best at work, because in theory if everybody applied these laws, the world would be a better place. Number 4. Schedule time for developing your skills. Kant teaches us we are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. Kant lived a rather predictable life. He was not interested in acquiring possessions. What he was interested in was designing a perfect way of life, to accomplish his goals in the realm of philosophy, and that is why he followed a strict schedule. He understood that people sometimes fight very hard, to acquire wealth, higher social status, a promotion and so on. But all these accomplishments can vanish in a flash. One wrong business decision can lead to a catastrophe, one wrong email can destroy your entire reputation, or your company might run out of business for reasons not in your control, and so on. As such, it is not wise to build houses of cards, but instead to continuously develop your skills, learning further about your field and staying informed about the news in the industry. You should work hard on learning more about the tools, processes and software you have to use, about the customers you'll need to approach and so on. Keep yourself away from the pursuit of promotions, bigger salaries, and bigger social status, and stay focused on your craft. As it is the skills you possess and your knowledge in the field, that will eventually attract all the benefits that you are chasing and not vice versa. Invest an hour a day every day to improve and equip yourself with skills that support your field. Putting more time in your calendar for upgrading yourself will help to enhance your career in the long run. Number 5. Make time for the small things. In the words of Kant, look closely, the beautiful may be small. Despite his rigid way of living and conducting philosophy, Kant understood the importance of the small things in life, like taking time for talking to friends, walking in the park, and enjoying social activities. He had a great interest in the world of aesthetics. He believed that our ability to reason is the reason we can appreciate all the beauty of this world. Kant believed there are similarities between moral and aesthetic judgment, that the physical and the moral universe can be unified. For example, the more we know how to appreciate the beauty of a forest, the more we'll be inclined to take care of it, and in this way our actions will benefit the environment, and thus the local community. The admiration for beautiful things inspires a feeling of awe, accompanied sometimes by desire to take care of those things, and to treasure them. It's important to allocate time to appreciate the beauty that surrounds us, sunrise or sunset, the flowers and trees, the distant landscape, even the architecture of the cities have a magic in them. We should try and do this as much as a few hours a week. Take time to visit a museum or gallery contemplating a piece of art, or a beautiful corner of nature, that soothes our soul and bring out the desire in us, to be kinder and be appreciative for having the opportunity to live on this magnificent planet. Number 6. Make time for your other duties. As we learned from Kant, an action to have moral worth must be done from duty. Nowadays we often admire people who are genuinely good, and do good things because they feel like doing them. However, Kant would say that this is not enough. An action is only morally good if the motivating forces behind the decision to make that action are also good. It is not enough to be good at heart and kind to people, you need to have a solid rational reason for doing so. For example, a waiter at a restaurant shouldn't be kind to their customers just because they feel that way, they should be kind because it's part of their duty. If they only do what they feel like doing, imagine how they would behave with the customers when they have a bad day. Only doing good things when you feel like doing them is effectively immoral in Kant's view. We need to act, following a set of principles of conduct, not only in our work life but also in our personal life. We all play different roles in life, such as an employee, a spouse, a friend, a parent, and so on. Therefore, there are many different types of duties, and to keep everything in balance, we need to find and allocate time for all roles. Not fulfilling our duties in one area of life can affect the others as well. For example, most of us understand how important it is to be in contact with our parents, or other relatives, to call them and ask how they are, if they need something and so on. But if you get carried away by your work or too stressed with matters on hand, or you just plain forget, it means you only do things when you feel like doing them, and this is not moral. If you truly reason through the importance of being in contact with your parents, you'd call them no matter how you feel at that moment. Not managing such duties correctly can lead to guilt and regret down the road, particularly once your parents are no more. No matter how important one area of your life is, you need to find time to fulfill your duties in other areas of your life as well. Number 7. Make time for moral self-development. In our final quote from Kant for this video, he says, "Without man and his potential for moral progress, the whole of reality would be a mere wilderness, a thing in vain and have no final purpose." Kant was one of the most influential philosophers in the Age of Enlightenment, also called the Age of Reason. In his work, the concept of being a moral human being played an important role. He considered that there are three main questions we should all ask ourselves. What can I know? What should I do? And what can I hope? For he argued that human beings should always try to make progress in the realm of morality, that universal peace is possible through collaboration and understanding of each other. Nowadays, due to globalization, finding a common ground for morality across different countries and cultures is a challenging task. What is considered good in one country can be seen as bad, or even offensive in another. The only way in which progress can be done is through continuous dialogue and honest open communication. Facing other cultures or people with different personalities can force us to update our moral code, making room for appreciation of different ideologies. To evolve in a moral sense, we need to be receptive of other cultures, communicate and debate with other people to reach the best solution. By learning and debating, you will reach a new understanding of what is moral and what is not, helping you to truly know yourself and shape your principles for a truly happier life. Thank you for watching. For more philosophical and productivity improvement videos, please don't forget to subscribe.